Hey Aquarius, how's it going? We're here with the timeless reading. Welcome. First card out is Queen of Swords. Get the vibe of you being focused. Feels like a present, focused energy. Like sort of standing on the logic that you have. Okay. I'm seeing you be very happy with something here. Something you could have initially been like nervous about or just had been on your mind. I feel like there's something that's going on, whether this be like a moment or just a cycle that you're in right now where you're noticing what feels right. And in that, it's sort of like telling you more about yourself. You know, kind of when you're in situations that just, they feel off or it can feel frustrating. Or you have stuff where it's like, is this how it's supposed to feel? Versus you find yourself in, again, like in a moment or a cycle, you're having some type of experience where you're like, oh, this feels right. I'm seeing something along the lines of that going on, and it feels like it's telling you something important. Coming back to situations where you may not feel like this, sometimes we can be in situations and be like, I don't know, something is going on, but like I can't put my finger on it. Just something about it, it doesn't feel the way that I think that it's supposed to, or like, is this supposed to be how it feels? But this type of situation that I'm seeing unfold for you, wow, how about that? Let's see what the number is here. Give me a second. I want to look this up. There are messages about clarity that this is connected with. Stuff about doing things in a way that represents how you feel inside. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about internal things. Some of you too, there's work that you're doing that this message is about, like work paying off. So, and even though it can be something externally, yeah, I see it as mostly being something internally, where it's like you doing internal work where you're not hanging around situations that you recognize aren't it for you and you're still staying because you refuse to leave. You know, this is the type of stuff that happens. It's like, it says it's a powerful message of spiritual growth, prosperity, and love. And I'm seeing whatever you're doing be involved in that, where you're like, I can tell the difference because of being in a situation that's mirroring that to me, that's reflective of that. You know, when things are like easier, there's less resistance, or stuff is just happening the way that it's supposed to, or you just feel happy and it's just, you're not forcing it or like creating it or like setting up like that. You know, it's just, it's reflective of that because of doing the work that needs to be done, which can be like a lot of surrendering that's been happening, or a lot of like cleaning things out energetically to now be in this space. So it feels like a moment of being like, now I'm seeing what this feels like when things do feel right for me. Because this 10 of Cups is feeling not only like this feels right inside, but it feels simultaneously like an illumination of that. Like I'm recognizing when it's reflective of that for me. Just objectively, it feels like this isn't like I'm really attached to this, so even though there are red flags, I'm ignoring it. This is like a situation that genuinely is aligned, and because of you being in an objective space where you're like, I want to see what it is, it doesn't have to be anything, and then it shows you in that situation that it is reflective of this for you. So there's power in that, because you know how we can influence things where it's like, I don't want to admit that this is not working, so I'm gonna like lie to myself and tell me. This is one of those things where you're like, before I come in with preferences, I want to be able to like peer into what's going on here, and it does reflect your 10 of Cups back to you. So it is legitimate, and you can feel that within you. Because I'm seeing you be in a spot where you want to see the truth more than anything, and that is what's shown to you. I'm seeing the World here. So Saturn being involved in this feels like what the cycle is comprised of. I'm not seeing any blocks be here. Stuff can definitely be moving at a pace. Yeah, how about that? Stuff can definitely be moving at a pace. Having the World here connected with Saturn. Saturn doesn't like give you everything very quickly the way that other planets may. Saturn is like, it's going to take some time, but it's going to end up like working in your favor if you do what you need to be doing. But Saturn can feel like things are sort of moving in slow motion, or it's like, wow, this really is a process here. So it's something that's sort of more of like a slow burn or a slow build, if anything at all. But also I'm not seeing there be a bunch of blocks. It's like it does take time, but I'm not seeing things much get in your way right now. It feels like there's a, like we're going that way. I am seeing Seven of Swords pop up though, which feels like this could be somebody coming around for some of you. I'm gonna get more. So you're in position, I'm gonna move this over here. You're in the position of the Queen of Swords. So this is you looking at things objectively. Having Ten of Cups shows you looking at something, like looking at a situation or something like that. It is a situation, a cycle, an experience that you're having, and being like, wow, I feel really happy here, or wow, this feels really right to me, or wow, I feel very centered, or I'm feeling a lot of peace about this. So you'll see something important there. You'll feel that. Not just seeing it, you'll feel it and you'll acknowledge that. And you're like, I'm looking for the truth here, so I know this is real. This isn't influenced by my preferences here, because I wanted the truth. The World is about the hard work we do to get to these places. And then I'm also seeing Eight of Wands, which feels like you did the hard work and you took the time that it takes to do this. So now, without there being any blockages in front of you or any which way do we go here, you're going to feel like you're really moving now. So you're really, like, the pace is going to be picking up. But then I'm seeing Seven of Swords. So you can have something that can kind of be like an illusion that pops up, or something that would derail you potentially. This feels like looking at that and being like, this isn't a real reflection of this other thing that I'm feeling here that is real for me. So it feels like needing to use your discernment in this moment of, I know that this may be sort of an illusion that's popping up for me, and I also know that it's not going to be reflective. I want to get a clarifier though to see what this is. Again, it feels like something that would derail you, something that would get in your head in some way. Where, like, if you want to lie to yourself about this, like, you can go on and attach to it, and then it'll sort of take you in another direction, but you have the choice. And if you're using your discernment, you'll see, like, right through it. But it is something that would potentially get in the way of where you are intending to go right now. We get a clarifier for Seven of Swords. What is this? This feels like somebody coming through trying to give you something, like opening a door for you and being like, you want to go this way? Something like that. Yeah, I'm seeing something about a message. Some of you, somebody's reaching out to you and they want to connect with you. In some ways, you can feel compatible with this person, but in other ways, like having Seven of Swords here feels like something like you get a feeling about something. I get the vibe that maybe the way that you understand this, or the way that you know maybe what energy this would carry for you, is that you wouldn't feel an immediate green light. Like, it can bring up conflict for you, it can bring up confusion, you can feel unsure, you can definitely feel curious. Seven of Swords means it's something that can potentially like penetrate psychologically, and it can be something that throws you off, and it can be something where it's like just showing you enough to get curious, but then you get closer and it shows you the rest and you're like, no, like try to back away, but then you're already involved. It can be like that type of thing here. I'm seeing Page of Pentacles and I'm seeing Ace of Wands. This is also somebody that can like enlist you to help them in some way, but again, like you get a feeling about this. I'm seeing the Hermit, and I'm seeing the Moon. This can be someone from your past for some of you. I'm also seeing Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck, but I don't get the vibe that this is your energy. So this can be somebody coming to you, like seeming like they're distressed about something, or that like they're having a hard time with this. But the thing is that this isn't just somebody that would like enlist your help and it's a straightforward thing. Having Seven of Swords here shows somebody that like they would potentially derail you to get involved in it. So to just be mindful, like if you get a weird feeling about it, or you're like, I don't know, something about it within me, I feel hesitant for some reason. Like you really just want to make sure that you're paying attention to whatever this is showing up and use your discernment, because that's going to tell you all that you need to know. I don't think we need to get further into it. It will tell you all you need to know. And this will pop up too at a time where you're like, wow, nothing is getting in my way anymore. And then you sort of have this psychological thing popping up. Like that's the avenue that it would take to sort of get to you, I'm seeing. So it would be something, again, that you'd feel like a bit in your head about. But there's not a full disclosure energy that's connected. So this can be like somebody coming into your life and telling you, like, again, like a part of the story to get you sort of hooked in, but then isn't telling you the whole thing. But you'd have a feeling about that. You would feel like stuff is kind of murky, cloudy, unclear, vague even. It can be like those types of things that would be connected with this. And ultimately, you know what this is reminding me of? Seven of Swords and Five of Swords is feeling like somebody that may not be in like a totally clear space with themselves. And so you ever find yourself in a situation where someone sort of like pulls you in because they want something from you, but then they like won't show you everything, and then you feel like you have to become a detective, and then it's like the pushing and the pulling, or the hot and the cold. I'm seeing a vibe like that. So this can be somebody that's like, I want your help, and then you like try to help, and then they like are like, well, that's not gonna work, or like I don't really want your help, or like they're asking for advice and you give it to them, and then they're like not gonna listen, and it's just like to pull you into the game of that. I'm seeing that type of thing here. So this is, I get just a vibe of you being derailed by this if you decide to go in that direction. But it feels like there's something that's not upfront about the energy, and you would feel that. Because you know when somebody's like, I need help, just an example of how someone can enter in, like, hey, I need help from you, or I need advice, like this is a problem, I'm having a hard time with this, and then it's like you sort of collaborate with them. I'm getting that it would feel like you get pulled into this in a different type of way, where it's like you feel like you get lost in maybe somebody else's like cloudiness, something like that, because they can be in a spot where they may not be being totally honest about certain things. They may be doing some stuff that's self-destructive. It can be that type of thing, or just not in a space where maybe they're trying to work on certain things, but again, like enlisting you for help with those things, and then you get involved in that, and then it becomes like a frustrating thing. It just feels like something that you can look at this and be like, I actually don't think this is really my business, that type of thing. Boundaries is what this is feeling like. Wow, look at you. I'm really seeing you be in a phenomenal spot right now. I'm seeing the Empress be linked with your energy, so you can feel like you're just attracting a lot of things in right now, things that are potentially like, will you latch on to me? Will you latch on to me? So you have to be mindful of that. Because I'm actually seeing you be in a really great space right now. It's reminding me of like rainbow sprinkles or something, just like a pleasant type of thing. You know when you're like really attuned and really aligned, and so you find people like wanting to be around your energy? I'm getting something like that, but this can even be an energetic thing where it's like people just end up like reaching out to you or like wanting to connect with you, that they may not have like consciously known what you were doing, and just all of a sudden people start appearing. Like it can be that type of thing, or you just start like meeting people like that, and it's just something that's happening organically, it feels like, because of where you are. Like people get like a good sensation being around you, that type of thing. Like I'm seeing you be in a very empowered space, but not just because you're magically there. Like having the world here shows that you've done a lot of work to get here and gone through a lot of cycles to get here, and like put a lot of the pieces together, you know, all of that stuff. So it's reflective of your inner work and your inner journey. You can feel too like a lot of the cycles that you've gone through have to do specifically with discernment and listening to yourself too. Because you could have always felt like you had strong intuition, but maybe you didn't always trust it or validate it, you know? Could have been something that you ignored a lot of the time, or even like didn't know how to interpret. Like you were receiving messages and you're like not understanding how it applies in the past. So all these cycles could have been very much about that. So now you have something coming through where maybe in the past you would look at this and be like, why not, and go in that direction just because something's popping up. And now I feel you being more in a space where you're really checking in and being like, something about the vibe of this feels like it's a different space than I'm in. I'm seeing also happiness with the relationships that you have too, but through difficult stuff that you've been in. Some of you, this is a specific like partnership, because I'm seeing the Lovers. It can be any type of partnership. It can be a work situation, it can be a family situation, it can be a romantic partnership, it can be a best friend, like whatever it is. It can be your relationships in general too, like the people that you care about, but these would be people that you're close with, relatively close with. You can feel now like you and somebody else are connected. This can be a spirit guide too, for those of you that it's not like a tangible person in front of you. And this can also be your relationship with yourself too, where there's like, you feel connected to the love that you feel for yourself. And I'm seeing there's somewhere that you're going. It's like having to fly through the rain to get to the rainbow on the other side, like that type of thing. Empress and Seven of Wands here feels like there's something about your energy that you have to like keep the integrity of. You can feel protective of yourself, because I'm seeing the Empress be something that's emanating from the heart space, and Seven of Wands feels like I need to keep maintaining this, so doing things that allow me to maintain this, because I'm in a spot that I want to like be in this vibration, or like whatever you're calling sort of being in this spot with yourself. And having the World and having the Lovers is like a lot of situations that you've been through, again tying back to your discernment and things like that, where you're able to detach enough to look at things objectively and sort of figure out what they are and really be able to tune into them and see them. I'm seeing 1944 on the time when I looked up. Having the World, this is Saturn all of the really challenging lessons that you go through with people, all the really challenging experiences that you go through interpersonally, that teach you how to grow up, that teach you how to be more disciplined, that teach you how to align more with your values and to listen to yourself and to pay attention and sometimes make the really hard decisions, but so your life can be the way that you want it to be. And all of it, like growing and growing and growing and understanding yourself and understanding like the types of relationships that you want to, and also weeding out what's not reflective of that, all of those things. So it feels like all of the things that you've gone through in this respect with other people, and some of you too, you may have more recently been going through something difficult with you and somebody that you're close with, and I'm seeing things are really, at this point, Six of Swords here shows you're moving to a place that's going to feel more calm. It's going to feel like there's not so much drama, like there's not so much overthinking about stuff, that it can sort of just, there's an easiness to it. And it's not mentally taxing, like you feel like you can relax and you don't have to be worried about things. It seems too like that's what you've been investing in. So whatever this energy that's coming through potentially would be something that would get in the way of this. Some of you, like for many of you, it can be a person because of having a page, which is a court card, which is usually seen as another person coming through. It can definitely be someone, but it doesn't have to be. But for most of you, it probably will be. So if there's been something that had been like, have to get through this to get out on the other side, I'm seeing you come out on the other side, and this feels like a continuous investment that you've been making. And I'm seeing Two of Cups come out on the bottom of the deck when Seven of Pentacles came out. Seven of Pentacles is something that you've been building, putting your energy into, like you do it today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day, like that. Like a crescendo of this energy, like you're getting somewhere with it, like you're watering it and it's growing and it's growing and it's more robust and it's more robust, like that type of thing. And it feels too like the card before it, you see all the swords down here, but this is, even though this can seem like you know, like a heavy rain that's coming down, it can feel like a heavy card, but what this card symbolizes is as soon as this rain lets up, the rainbow comes out. So it's about going through the stuff that needs to be gone through in order to understand like where you're going. It's sort of like relative to where you're going, and where it is that you're going is going to feel like things really ease up for you. Like it's moving to a place that's for the better. So this can mean that you and somebody else, you're moving on from something that had been challenging, and now you're going to continue the investment of the relationship. Feels like you may have needed to preserve something here. I get the vibe again of the integrity of something. It can be like your integrity, the integrity of the relationship. And needing to see something that would possibly get in the way. Yes. I'm seeing Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So again, this can be an energy that's coming through that would be outside of, it can be outside of your relationship, or just outside of something that you could feel would potentially take you away from where you're already heading, because I'm seeing you be on track and this thing pops up. Having Seven of Swords above Seven of Pentacles, this is something that could potentially fracture an investment that you've been making. And it feels like an investment of a relationship to have the Lovers here. And you can feel split on this. Having Five of Swords above Two of Swords, this card, you see how there's a split within it? It's like the two sides of something, and you could feel like, well, I see... Sorry, I have a candle right there. I see this side of things and I see this side, and there's like this split in between of something that that because of something coming through that's not the truth, which the truth would be something being whole, it feels like it split something in two in a mental way. And then having that above Two of Swords, that's the split again, where it's like you need to unify this so you can be seeing things clearly. Because right now you can be like, well, I see this side and I see that side, and there's something that's not connecting about those things. You need to get to a space where you're like either deep enough, like far enough back, or high enough that you see the relationship between these two things. Like the invisible thread that connects these. So you're making sure that you see the whole picture, and so you're not having this split here. Having Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck can be a reminder to not do something without thinking about it, to make sure that you're thinking things through, and to not just react to a situation either, especially starting off with Queen of Swords, which is going to be methodical, discernment, like I'll think about this and then I'll take more time to think about this, just because I'm dealing with precious energy here. Having the Empress and having Queen of Swords is, I want to use my discernment here to really reflect on this situation, to be honest with myself about what it is that I'm seeing, regardless of what I may want, and make a choice that feels empowering to me. Because I'm protecting the joy that I'm feeling right now, or the contentment that I'm feeling right now, or the peace that I'm feeling right now in my life, because I'm seeing you again be in a really good spot. You can feel like your mental health is thriving right now, like whatever it is for you that you feel, or you can feel like fulfilled with something that you have going on within your life, or just that you're like, you know what, I look at my life and I really like the way that it looks. Whatever this is that you have going on that feels like an internal thing, having Seven of Wands below is what you need to do in order to sort of like protect that space, so it's not being invaded upon. And the World and the Lovers feels like, and all of this stuff that I've put in to sort of get to this place where I feel good about my relationship, or relationships plural, or like my relationship with myself, or my relationship with this person, or my relationship with like the group of friends that I have, like whatever this is for you. It's about like, I have made sacrifices and I've had to be doing things that were difficult, but for the sake of, so things could be better, or so things could be functional even, you know, like all of that, like the mechanics that you have to do. And I'm seeing where you're going. It's like a straight away right now, where you've gone through the difficult stuff, and now things are just increasingly getting better and better and easier because of the footwork that you've done, and the time that you've really put in, and the patience that you've put in, and the growing that you've allowed, even when it's felt like you can barely even see something growing, but you're being told that it is, and you just have to put your faith in it, you know, like all of that. Now I'm seeing something coming in with Seven of Swords and Seven of Pentacles, that this can be something that will derail you, but if you're using your discernment, it's not going to derail you, because you're going to look at it and be like, something is up with that and I have a weird feeling about it, or just something doesn't feel right, or I'm not getting the whole truth here, or if somebody's communicating with me, it should be making sense, and something about this feels like it's trying to pull me in instead. So there's going to be something that you feel like is up, like there's just something weird about the vibe of something that presents itself to you. It's like a crooked door that opens in front of you, and there's something about that that would directly conflict with something that you've been investing in, and feels for most of you like it's a relationship. And needing to see the separation that this would bring for you. So this can be like you have a relationship over here, and somebody that's trying to enter would then bring conflict to your relationship over here, and it's something that it looks like a foundational relationship over here for you. So needing to see that of like, if something's actually congruent with my life, it's not going to conflict with the other stuff that I have going on, so that's telling me something about the thing that's attempting to enter in. And it can be something that feels initially appealing or fun or carefree, or like, well, how would that impact that? But you'll get a feeling about this that for some reason it would directly impact something that you've already been investing in. It's like you have your garden and you have something that's growing that you've been spending so much time taking care of, and it's something that really matters to you and not something that feels trivial. It's something you wouldn't want to lose. is something that you want to hold on to, because, and you can feel it. It's like reflective. It feels good on the inside as well as on the outside. So you see that within whatever this is that you've been planting in your like metaphorical garden. This thing that comes in is like the type of plant, this like new one that's like, plant me in your garden too, that if you plant it in, it'll like choke out the other one, you know, that type of thing. And at first you can look at it and maybe, I don't know, I feel like you initially get a sense of this, because I feel like the Seven of Swords like isn't hiding that it's the Seven of Swords. Just something wouldn't feel totally transparent. I get the vibe though for many of you that whatever this is, you'll be able to know that it's something like shady or not transparent, or something is like messing around, or someone's like not in the right space with themselves and trying to pull you in, because it would be something where if you started to engage, you'd feel like you have to investigate it because you feel like not everything is being presented to you. So that's how you'll know what this is. So it's something that would potentially like lure you in, because it's like, oh, there's more, and I'm getting this feeling that there's not more. And so I feel like I have to ask more questions and more questions or more questions, or engage further, and I'm still like not really seeing it. And it's like, you know, when you're dealing with someone that's just being totally transparent, you don't have to go digging, because it's like everything is just freely given to you, because it's like, I'm trying to solve a problem here, or communicate here, or whatever. It's like uncomplicated. This is something that even from the jump, it would be complicated, and that's how you'll know that this is something that would be like divisive in some way, like split. So just pay attention to that, okay? And it's something that will pull you in but push you at the same time. Like, it's like, please come towards me, and as soon as you start like coming towards it, it's like running away and you have to chase it. It'll be something like that. And it's just like the game of this energy that comes in. Know too that even though this can be somebody coming through, they may not even be aware of this, or like not in a space where they're like really understanding that about their own energy. So it's not even about looking at that and being like, well, now I feel a way towards this person. It can be an unconscious energy that they're bringing in. But none of that matters. Like, their intention doesn't matter really at the end of the day. It's about like, are you going to play the game or are you not going to play the game? And you get to decide what you want to do for yourself. And Queen of Swords is like, use your discernment for this and figure it out for yourself what you want to do. Now that this is all laid out and you see that whatever this is, it will interact with other things that you have going on in your life, even if you don't initially see that. That's what the message is about this. So it can also be something that, like, with this divisive energy, it's something that could make you pick. Like, you have to choose that one or you have to choose this one, and then you're like, what? You know, like that type of thing. It'll be that vibe, whatever this is that's coming through. And you know, again, that's something that's going to be congruent with the stuff that you have going on. It's going to be compatible with the other things that you have in your life. Especially when you're in a good place, you'll know immediately if something's compatible or not with you being in that good place, and you'll only want things that are going to be reflective of that, because that's sort of where your vibe is staying currently. So you'll know if something is compatible or not, because it'll start making trouble for other things that you have. It'll like interfere with other timelines and stuff, you'll feel. And it will be something too that feels like it can split you away from a part of you that doesn't feel empowering. Because this can be, I'm seeing something like deeper psychologically going on here, where this can be an energy that if you go in the direction of it, it can be something that makes you feel helpless for some reason. Like, you know, that like pulling you in and you come in and then running away and you feel helpless in that position. That's another way that this will be something that will play that game with you. So whatever way this appears, if you have some type of weird energy coming through, something that you're like, I don't know about that, pay attention to the way that you feel. This feels like a warning about this, okay? Some of you, this is going to be somebody coming through messaging you. All right. We good? Anything else? Stand up for yourself. You may need to advocate for yourself. You may just need to protect your energy. I feel like you're in a space where you feel like the stakes are kind of too high, if that's the right way to describe it, to just like let something come through and dismantle things for you. And also know too that if an energy is not in total truth, it will be something that comes through that feels like it either sucks you in or something becomes confusing, something like that, where it like doesn't feel like everything is out on the table. Especially, which is weird too, especially when something like comes to you, you know? Protect your happiness and all of the things that are synonymous with that within your life, your relationships. I'm seeing things going well. Um, and again, like if you do go for whatever this is that's coming through, it's something that can sort of split the path for you in a way that you may not want. So just be mindful if you're taking on anything. Even if initially it seems like a carefree type of thing, this will impact other stuff that you have going on. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.